AIC Impact Lecture Series on Startup, Institutional Support for MSME, Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. In developing countries like India, MSME industries are the backbone of the economy. When these kind of industries grow, the economy of the country grows as whole and flourishes. With a small note, I welcome our resource person, Professor Dr. VP Sriram, Department of Management, Acharya, Bangalore B School, and our beloved principal, Dr. V. Radhakrishnan, IIC President, Dr. K.M. Prabhushankarlal, Head Department of Electronics, Vice President, Dr. Suresh Kumar, and the coordinators. I also welcome all the student participants for this session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. A president's hardest task is not to do what is right, but to know what is right. Now, may I invite our dynamic principal, Dr. V. Radhakrishnan, KS Rangasamy College of Arts and Science Autonomous, to deliver the presidential address.
Thank you, Mosi. Respected President, Vice President, and our beloved directors in absentia. The distinguished chief guest of today's session, Dr. Sriram, VP, from Acharya B School. Let me at the outset thank you, sir, for considering our request and sparing your valuable time for us, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Because I know very well it's a weekend, but still on an afternoon of a weekend, you have spared your time for us, sir. I must thank you again.
It's a honor, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. Fine. So, Dr. Lal, the president of IIC, Dr. Suresh Kumar, vice president, and Dr. Professor Tamil Selvan, and the other coordinators and the participants. In fact, the initiative of IIC is really good because now it's time for us to talk about the startups and how they give empowerment, they leverage to the economy of our country, and new changes happening in the field. And I'm sure that today's takeaways from our honorable guests will be really helpful for our students and also the participants who will be able to use it properly. And my only request is kindly interact with the chief guest. Such a distinguished person has spared his time today, and we must know how to utilize the time. That's my only request, and I wish the function all success. Thank you. Good day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. A little progress each day adds up to big results. Now I cordially invite Dr. M. Suresh, librarian, KS Rangasamy College of Arts and Science Autonomous, to introduce our today's resource person, Dr. VP Sriram.
Thank you, Msme. I feel elected to introduce the chief guest of the day, Dr. VP Sriram, Professor, Acharya Bangalore B School, Bengaluru. He qualified in DSE IM at National Institute of Export and Import Management, Chennai, and BSc Electronics in SNR Sons College, Coimbatore. He completed MBA Human Resource Management and Human Resource and Marketing Management in Kalaslingam College of Engineering, Kishan Kovil, and PhD in Management Science, Kalaslingam Academy of Research and Higher Education, and PCP MSM in Marketing Sales Management in Indian Institute of Management, Kozhikode. Dr. VP Sriram had received international certification on Business English Certificate and international certification on SAP Business 1 2005, Solution Consultant, SAP AG, Germany. He has completed 2 MOOC courses in Managing Services, a practical. He performed as program coordinator in MBA PG program, performed and served as an academic coordinator in MBA program, and he is currently performing as a research. Honored with a certificate of appreciation by Indian Institute of Technology, Madras. He has been an expert in the Department of Commerce, member of Board of Studies, and member of the International Editorial Board and a senior member of the Reviewer Board. Dr. VP Sriram has published many research journal publications. His articles published in internationally indexed journals like Scopus and Web of Science and other reputed journals. He has 5 Scopus H Index and 8 in Google Scholar H Index. He had participated in many national level symposium on IIM, Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore. National level workshop on proposal writing and grant management, Indo-Asian Journal for Management and Entrepreneurship. Dr. VP Sriram is a recipient of Innovative Researcher Management Science and Dedicated Academician Award in International Research Strategies, and he is a recipient of Best Researcher Award. He has also published a book on measuring service quality offered through organizing retail stores, Indian retail perspective. We are highly fortunate to have you with us for today's resource person and today's session, sir. Thank you for your presence, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. So are you able to see my screen? Thank you, sir. So
Thank
is it
you,
audible?
sir.
Yeah, is it audible?
Yes, sir, it is audible, sir.
Are you able to see the screen, my PowerPoint?
Yes, sir, we could able to see the screen also and you're audible.
Thank you. Thank you. I would like to thank all the dignitaries who are present in this session. And the topic for today's session is institutional support for micro, small and medium enterprises. Of course, this is a broader topic and there was a lot of takeaways is there, and especially for the upcoming and upcoming budding managers. And there was a lot of scope in this area, micro and small medium enterprises, because it contributes lots to the growth and development of the country. So, and as an individual also, we do have a lot of things we can able to contribute to the growth and development of the MSME sector. I think it's a very small period of time, and I could able to give you some kind of insight so that now we can able to get into it and ensure that some kind of input I can able to deliver to you, so that it will be useful for you. And when we go through this, the first one, yeah, in the first one, I want to tell you the introduction to MSME sector in India. So the micro and small medium sector is a major contributor to the socio-economic development of the country, because in India, the sector has gained significant importance to the contribution to the GDP of the country and exports. And the sector has contributed immensely with the respect to the entrepreneurial development in terms of if you see in urban rural areas also, this have been concentrated right now more in numbers. And so before I just go into know some more insights I want to give to you, this micro, small and medium enterprises contribute immensely to the growth and development of a country, as I said earlier. So if you see, but there was a source saying that there are 26 million units in the sector. They generate 59 million jobs, and they contribute 40% to from the manufacturing output, and also 45% to the total exports, and 95% of all enterprises are from the MSMEs. So, however, the sector needs to address many issues to be competitive in the global market. Strengthening the sector in order to meet the global competition would mean that empowering the entire spectrum of MSME. So including those in the informal sector, not just export oriented ones. So what is needed is a critical institutional mechanism. So right now we need a critical institutional mechanism that provides support, mentoring, and in additional information and some kind of marketing intelligence, some kind of networking, and we need to create some training opportunities and a technology dissemination system uh, which could be able to serve the country wide in a best networked way that reaches out all entrepreneurs. So the new mechanism would be able to enable and facilitate these MSMEs. MSMEs garner social and cultural capital so that they would be able to be a successful determinants in the days ahead. And to go ahead, MSMEs have no options because but to be more tech savvy information and communication technology. Today we call it as ICT. Adapters and estimate only 50% of the from urban enterprises and 40% of the rural enterprises have adapted any kind of ICT tools. So they must also attempt to adapt these best corporate practices, and they should learn from the corporates and MSMEs in the other countries also. For example, we can tell, for instance, in the multicultural global market, Indian MSME work sites can become more multicultural and diversity friendly by creating more spaces for the employees from all nations and also from foreign communities. To talk more about it, standard accounting principles have to be followed. Now, only 28% of MSME from our country is practicing this. So there is a large scope. There is a large way to go about. If you see in many parts of the world, there are so much of institutional arrangements to reach out MSMEs in addressing such challenges. Let's take US. There are close to 1,000 small business development centers, we call as SBDCs, that provide support, especially information and the kind of information what the business wants to go up, and they have been supporting in such a way for the growth and development of the small business development centers. And also when you take Israel and Canada, they too have such kind of institutional arrangement in place so that no, they could be able to deliver the services whenever and wherever they require. So India too needs to create an institutional mechanism to provide such services to MSME in a highly decentralized manner. To effectively reach out to MSMEs in all regions, states, districts, villages, a network of such institutions could be set up in each of the community development blocks. Around 6,000 and around 6,000 of them in India. And if you see such institutions, may be called as MSME resource centers. We can able to call them as MSME resource centers. These centers can address the issue of the information's lacking and enable the technology transfer, and they create awareness. They could able to provide training, networking, and product exposition facilities, and they could able to facilitate the ICT adoption and how to work smooth, and they could be able to face the competition in such a way, and how to generate finance so that they could be able to utilize the funds in the day-to-day activities. These could be done through this MSMERC centers in the urban, as well as depending on the need, such centers can be opened, because that is right now it is highly needed on the rural areas and semi-rural. And when it comes to the technology transfer, again, MSMEs and the informal enterprises need valuable inputs from these centers, because they often, wherever they need a sensible application of these available technologies. And for instance, vegetable vendors and enterprises that deal with the perishable food products, if provided with finance to acquire battery and refrigerated carts or deep freezers, would bring down the post-harvest losses of the farm products, estimated at 1 trillion annually. So further, MSMEs can facilitate the transition of informal sector enterprises to a formal enterprise, then to the micro and small. So building youth-owned enterprises are also critical to innovation. Young entrepreneurs can grasp the global market dynamics relatively better and create competitive, and they can able to create innovative enterprises. That is something which has been right now needed. And here comes the role of building a strong foundation in human resource development. For it, it's the innovators, the entrepreneurs needs to be emerged from the youth sector, and youth who come out from the academic world needs to be empowered to become self-employed, to start the new ventures and commercialize their knowledge. And it is something critical to direct them the world of the world of MSMEs to build an innovative, creative, and competitive sector. So the youth living in the information economy needs an institutional support system. Okay, so similar to that, the business incubators, uh, and we also need a decentralized network of these business incubators. Each could be which needs to be funded and it needs to be developed by the government to 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 be exist along with the MSMEs to help them. Such business incubators should provide mentors, finance, technology related support and assistance in setting up and registering a firm. so that they could able to prepare their business and marketing plan as well as the networking and as the marketing support, and they could able to grow gradually. And they also needs to be offered some basic training in business management, accounting and marketing. And also they need to be import a skill development program. So as a whole, an enterprise needs to be developed in such a way that how the developing countries have been doing, and that should be done in a that should made as a multicultural work site, so that no even the customer base of the MSMEs are very much multicultural in the global market. So with this note, we are just seeing slowly the organizers know there is an option for us. No, you can sometimes no, it is not me. I'm muting it. It's somebody else who would have been muted. There is an option where you can able to do it in
No,
options.
sir, this overall, the overall, all the participants are unmuted, sir.
Okay,
Muted,
no.
muted, sir. Muted, sir.
So,
That's not your problem, sir.
okay. So yeah, not an issue. Okay, so if you see the registered MSMEs, no, you can just see the contribution, how much they contribute, because there's a huge number of opportunities available in the sector. Even someone who is starting at this point of time, no, they may get a lot of opportunities, because if you see the market size, you can see how much space is there in a year. You can see in the year there are around more than 60 small and medium enterprises have entered into the market in 1 year, in that too in 2021, 2022. And that is to bring up the equity funds for meeting all the business requirements. So it's been growing, and the initial public offerings which rooted and witnessed the 16 SMEs have entered the market, and they raised around rupees 100 crores in 2020 itself. And you can see that in 2021, 2022 they have entered the market with the higher precisions. And even if you see in June 2021, Bombay Stock Exchange announced that it has collaborated with the Electronics and Computer Software Export Promotion Council to build awareness among the small business and startups about the advantage of listing. So when you have been listed company, you know what will be the greater advantages to the how do you can able to grow, and how do you can expand your expand your presence, and you can able to make sure that how can you can deliver the services in the most better way that could be offered in this. And when you talk about MSMEs are being encouraged to market their products on the e-commerce site, that is something no we are relying more on technology, especially the government e-marketplace. That's what which has been owned by the government itself, where from the ministers and the public sector undertakings, they were the source of their procurements. So as per the statistics of March 24, 2022, the government e-commerce portal has served 9.63 million orders worth of rupees. You can see in the billions, 28.70 billion US dollars from 4 million registered sellers, and the service providers are for 59,259 buyer organizations. So that the depth is growing more and more, and you can find that there was a drastic opportunity available in this particular sector. And again, when you see the domestic business requires a strong financial stimulus with the concessional working capital loans, because sometimes no, you need you need to have the adequate liquidity which needs to be maintained for a business operations. That too, you need to support from the government and also from various financial institutes. Indian micro, small and medium enterprises are rapidly adapting the digital payments. Right now, we have been adapted to the digital payments over than cash, with 72% payments are done through the digital mode compared with 28% of cash transactions earlier in the traditional way. So rise in digital adoption presents the prospects for the growth sector in this sector. So you can find that we have been adapting to the technology also, where we could able to made we have made our presence in terms of service could be made effectively. Also, the customer who gets the service is also getting day better, both as a whole. The service provider and the receiver is both are getting benefited out of the technology. So some statutory bodies which you have to see from micro, small and medium enterprises in India. So if you see this MSME ministry has 4 statutory bodies, namely Khadi and Village Industries Commission, and who is responsible for promoting and developing the Khadi and village industries for providing employment opportunity in the rural areas, thereby strengthening the rural economy. We'll see much about Khadi, village and industries in the upcoming one. So I'm just telling that it is one of the statutory body who has been concentrating more on the employment opportunities in the rural area, and they have been promoting and developing the khadi and village industries. And the second one is the coir board, who is in charge of promoting the overall development of the coir industry and improving the living conditions of the workers in this industry. That is the second one, statutory bodies. And the third one, National Small Industries Corporation Limited, who are responsible for promoting and aiding and also fostering the growth of micro and small enterprises in the country, generally on a commercial basis. And they have been particularly focusing, they focus on the small industries corporation. They have been keep on supporting them, just encouraging them. They provide a kind of aids whatever they could be able to do it, so that they could able to ensure that these small industries also could be developed over a period of time by delivering the extraordinary services in the, and they do get the support from these kind of statutory bodies, so that they could able to get at time assistance, and at time the kind of services what they have been looking for, the kind of support which they have been looking for, they have been growing into the next level. And National Institute for Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, that is NIMSME, in charge of for the enterprise promotion and entrepreneurship development. Here they just check how as an enterprise we grew, and also entrepreneurship development has to happen. And whereas an enterprise, how to create the enterprise, how to ensure that how you do a preliminary study, and how to make a policy formulation regarding this, no, they themselves, this statutory body will help you to develop yourself. Then there comes the Mahatma Gandhi Institute for Rural Industrialization. They are responsible for accelerating and industrialization for sustainable village economy. They attract the professionals and experts to Gram Swaraj, which is the empowerment towards the traditional artisans, and encourage the innovation through pilot surveys and research studies for alternative technology using the local resources. So one or the other way, they just keep on empowering the rural employees, and they ensure that wherever there is a talent is available, they just want to ensure they want to support in such a way. Even if they've been available in a small or medium or also micro enterprises, they have been providing support in such all the way, so that no, they could be able to focus more onto their business, focus more onto their talent, so that they could be able to deliver the better way. And the next point is about the new online system for MSME. There is something called MSME Udyam registration launched by the Union MSME Ministry, which is with the effect from July 1, 2020. Successfully, they registered greater than 1.1 million MSMEs until November 2020 has been registered successfully. And in June 2021, the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises extended the validity of this Udyog Aadhar memorandum from March 31 to 21 to December 31, 2020. 2022. I'm sorry that number is missing. Okay, and yes, 1 minute. Okay. So if we see some of the challenges what the MSME face today, because no many people know, even if you find in the micro, small and medium enterprises, even though they have a different classification in terms of investment and turnover, the challenges is going to be pretty common. But the kind of challenges what they face, it depends upon the kind of the way they do the business. For example, no, here you can see that the first thing is that many unregistered MSMEs are there. They might be a micro one, particularly confined to a rural in India, because they have not been, they have a big geographical location. They operate with a particular technology, with the limited access to technology, with the limited access to finance. They have not been able to come out of that. Okay, so there is a need to transform the huge unregistered MSMEs to a registered MSMEs. So we need someone, and from the institutional point of view, we need to support them, we need to encourage them, we need to motivate them. Sometimes you need to ensure, you have to give the confidence to them to come out of the rural area, so that there are normally we tell Indian people have a lot of talents within themselves. A lot of talents is also been hidden, and a lot of talents have not been still out to the market, so that you can find a lot of innovative products in the market. And we are very good hardworking people, but we don't know how to bring out the product in the market. Sometimes you need some kind of skills. and sometimes you need some kind of support in terms of financing have been needed. So that is one thing. No, a lot of unregistered MSMEs still existing, which we need to convert it to the registered MSMEs. And second thing is you have to improve their competitiveness. So you can find no in the rural areas, no, then they might be the good producers of the product, but they may not be the good marketers of the product. So that could be one of the major factor they could not able to concentrate. But you see, many times no, they might be good marketers of the product, but they may not able to come out with the good producers of the product. So some people know they might be lacking in certain competitiveness, which as a institutions know they need to concentrate, they need to provide training, they need to ensure, they need to give the confidence, and they need to support in such a way that they come out with improving the competitiveness overall, so that no, the sector will flourish, because we have a lot of potential, we have a lot of ability. Only thing we need to encourage more and more, and we need to increase the awareness that a lot of institutions is providing that support. We have to take them back, and we have to encourage them, and we have to go up, because uh, why this topic, especially MSMEs in India, is a needed topic which needs to be concentrated at this point of time, because a lot of young students, a lot of young budding engineers, a lot of budding entrepreneurs know who needs to be encouraged, because no, they are the future of the nation. No, at this point of time they might be having a lot of challenges when they enter into the micro, small and medium enterprises, but the kind of support government is giving, that is something enormous. And they do have different kind of institutions who could able to support in various stages. That is what the primary thing which we try to deliver through this particular session. That's what we are talking about, the challenges. Now, if I'm a student, if I want to start a small company, what type of challenge I know? One thing is you have to first to be registered. Second thing, you have to be competitive, and as a whole, access to the technology is been very less, because you see early days, no, people, even those days who have been, if you take 10 to 15 years back, people are adamant to adapt to the technology, but they are forced to adapt to the technology right now. If you don't adapt to the technology, your survival and sustainability is a question of mark. But one way, access to the technology is a factor. Another way, how to make use of it, it's another kind of the thing. The is another major challenge for the people. So the government itself providing a lot of training by the sectors, by concentrating on each sectors and each organization, that the employees, what way of training they have been leaded, how to increase their competitiveness, and technology also could be one of the competitive factor which they can able to focus on. So that will provide you the kind of calibration and the momentum, so that they could able to take it up, and to ensure that they could able to they can grow to the next level along with the technology. Because those days who have been adamant to adapt to the technology, finding it difficult, now they have been forced to carry out. But the people who have willingly taken it up and are ready to take up, they have been started to adapt to the changes. They adapted this dynamic environment, they along with the technology. Now they find to be in a very competitive position because of their uniqueness, and they have developed the competitiveness over the period of time, and having this technology as a competitive factor. And the next is IPR related issues. It is also something which we need to concentrate. This IPR, intellectual property rights, is something which has been very major area when it comes to the MSMEs, because a lot of things were happening in the market. People could not able to survive, and we have been producing a good product, a similar kind of product which has been available, since you have not patented, since you have not copyrighted, since you have not had your trademarks, and you have not made your geographical indications and everything in front of you. There is a proper way to ensure how to secure your business, how to secure your secrecy and everything. Even everything matters in the business. So sometimes now people know, when they start in the initial stage, they would not concentrate on this IPR related issues, but over a period of time, when they start to grow, they might be facing a stiff competition. Sometimes competitor will exploit you through this IPR related issues. They could able to. So as a budding entrepreneurs, as a entrepreneurs, or the one who, if you have been concentrating on MSMEs, you should ensure that IPR intellectual property rights, whichever the kind which has been applicable to your nature of business, you have to be very careful, and you need to ensure that that has to be handled in such a way, so that your market expansion and your way of controlling your businesses also could happen in a better way. And design a market driver, design as a market driver. Again, you should know how to drive your business into the market, and you should ensure that every market is different, every environment is different, every business is different, every organization is different. And sometimes people may find it how to get involved into the business environment, because since I'm pretty new to the business environment, sometimes I'm not able to get the kind of information which I'm looking. So you'll be seeing there are some kind of institutions who could be able to provide you such kind of information to make sure to come out of that mind block that I'm not able to get the information in the business environment. No, the kind of institution who could able to support you, who could be along with you to be a part of your business, so that no, they could be able to do a better and better business. And then energy inefficiency and also associated with high cost, that is also another major challenge which is be going. The low market penetration and quality assurance certifications, quality assurance. And when you talk about, are you able to hear it? Oh, hello, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can able
Yeah.
to hear you.
Yes, ma'am. Quality assurance is also a major factor. No, sometimes no, we could be able to have a good creative products, but when it comes to the quality point of view, no, either it might be product or services. No, we have to assure that the quality has to be met out. Sometimes no, we might be having a good skills and we might be able to. Sometimes our product will not be able to meet out the quality aspects. No, then that could be a flaw for us to go ahead, because market penetration is very high, because customer always have a choices to move around, but retaining a customer and also acquiring a new customers is the biggest challenge in the market. So these are the pretty new challenges which we go. If you have been pretty new to the market, you acquiring the new customers would be standing as a big challenge. But if you have been you have been entered the market and if you are doing pretty well, retaining is also one kind of other challenge which should be persisting. So you have to be very careful, because the market penetrates very often, and and also you should know you have to change yourself according to the dynamic business environment too. And standardization of product is much important. Proper marketing channels, that's what I used to tell you, that no, you whenever you have been starting first itself, you have to ensure that how good you make it up in all things, and make certain changes which could able to bring a big impact to the business. But at the same time, no, you have to find out keep on changing the composition also. Sometimes no, we may get into troubles. And let's move on to the some of the government policies in recent time which happened in the MSMEs in the country, because the government of India has designed various policies for the growth of MSMEs in the country. Very recent time, I'm talking about as of March 2022, the number of loans sanctioned under Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, that is PMMY scheme, was 14.92 billion, and the amount disbursed was around and 39.90 billion US dollars. See, there is a lot of scope. So someone who's doing business, someone who wants to enter into the business, into the any of this area, small or medium or micro entrepreneurs, now this could be the great opportunity for the budding entrepreneurs who can enter. And because there's a kind of, the government is kind of giving all kind of supports for you to start, to get the training, to get the information, to get the support in whatever way. And only thing, no, you should know how to get how to adapt to it. And second thing, in the union budget of 2022 and 23, you can see that this MSME sector was allocated an emergency credit line guarantee scheme of rupees 50,000 crores. You can find it out that there's a kind of allotment. And in March 30, 2022, the Indian government allotted around 808 million US dollars for the scheme for rising and accelerating this MSME performance. They called it as a ramp. This program aims to improve the market and credit access and strengthen the institutions and governance at the center and state levels to improve the center state connections and partnership and resolve late payment difficulties and green MSMEs. So there are a lot of green initiatives also happening, that they have been supporting the green MSMEs. And that is also another kind of great initiatives, great policies which the government has come out with. And in November 2021, the Indian government launched the special credit linked capital subsidy scheme for the service sector. As I told you that it comprises of manufacturing and services. This scheme will help the enterprises in the service sector to meet various technological requirements. Okay, and moving on to the next one. Okay, so some more is there. We can see November 2021. MSME has launched this, my Ministry of MSME, who launched Sambhav, a national level awareness program to push the economic growth by promoting the entrepreneurship and domestic manufacturing. That's what I told you, that the students right now, you no need to worry that I'm being, see, whichever the domain you are, whichever the industry you are choosing, but if you want to start up at this point of time, it's a right time, no, where the country itself, the focusing on the entrepreneurship, because they are promoting the entrepreneurship. And sometimes, if you want to mm, produce the domestic manufacturing, if you want to have a manufacturing unit, you can be able to find out the kind of support the government is giving. So you have to find out what kind of, see, if you go through this Sambhav program, you will get awareness about that, what kind of support and assistance being given to the domestic entrepreneurship and also for the manufacturing sector. Okay, so you can identify it, you can able to avail the kind of opportunities. And in September 2021, Union Minister of MSME, Mr. Narayanan Rane, introduced India Export Initiative and India Exports 2021 portal. So this initiative will help the exporters to reach its around 400 billion target by the end of the financial year 2022, and further it pushes to 1 trillion by the financial year of 2027. So they have a long-term mission. They have been concentrating on the exports, and they ensure that they could be able to generate, and they could be able to do, and they can be able to perform at the next level. In September 2021, Khadi and Village Industries Commission established the first silk yarn production center in Odisha to boost the local silk industry and generate employment. See, they have been concentrating on the small and medium enterprises. So here they have been focusing on the Khadi and village industries. And when you see the same in the month of September 2021, and Union Minister of MSME, Mr. Rane has inaugurated the Rochak Technology Center, which is expected to train the trainees annually, because nowadays some people, they don't want to start their business, but they want to work in the MSMEs.
Good evening to one and all connected here. On behalf of Institutions Innovation Council of KS Rangasamy College of Arts and Science, it's my pleasure to propose vote of thanks for the MOE Innovation Cell AICTE sponsored Impact Lecture Series 1. IIC of KSR College of Arts and Science is thankful to MOE Innovation Cell of AICTE for sponsoring this Impact Lecture Series on entrepreneurship and IPR. My sincere gratitude to our Honorable Chairman, Vice Chairman and Directors Madam in absentia. I extend my sincere gratitude to our most respected Principal, Dr. V. Radhakrishnan, who always guides us in organizing such programs for the welfare of the students. I extend my sincere gratitude to today's guest speaker, Dr. V.P. Sriram, Professor, Department of Management, Acharya, Bangalore Business School, Bengaluru, who has enlightened our students in the title of Institutional Support for MSME, which is very essential for the young entrepreneurs to enlighten their skills on enriching their career. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us today in your busy schedule. I also thank Dr. K.M. Prabhushankar Lal, President, Dr. G. Suresh Kumar, Vice President, Mr. J. Tamil Selvan, Convener of IIC, and Dr. Suresh and Dr. Lata, Coordinators, for organizing the program in an excellent manner. I thank all the heads, faculty members, and student participants from various departments. Once again, I thank one and all. Thank you.